Good morning. It is 6:34 a.m. on Friday, June 21st, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I am moving pretty slow this morning. I was definitely sleep deprived from before, and I managed to go to bed at like a reasonable hour, but not early last night. So I did not exacerbate my sleep deprivation, but I also didn't repair what was lacking from before. So, if we wanted to make it a credit card bill, I still have a balance, but at least I didn't add to the balance this month or today or last night. You get it, right? This is not overly complicated. I went and I did the gym thing last night. I did elliptical machine, and it was a pretty good workout. And then I was pretty much wiped for the evening, which is okay. I got home and I had dinner and I watched Aliens as opposed to Alien, the movie. And I'm kind of just still thinking about that whole franchise, and in particular because of the RPG that just came out. I just got the downloaded PDF preview version. I haven't really dug through it yet, but I watched a first look with Adam Coble on YouTube, and it looks pretty cool to me. But so rewatching Aliens, I think the first Alien has a lot going for it, of course, but I think Aliens is my favorite. They're very different movies in the sense that the first one is obviously going for more of a straight up horror vibe, and Aliens is much more like action adventure sort of thing in terms of tone. And I think that actually makes the two go together extremely well, where you're not just, when you have the sequel, you're not just trying to just do the same thing again. So it's pretty good, and it's been a while since I watched it. So obviously, even though I know the movie well in theory, there's just so many little details that you forget, like Paul Reiser's character Burke calling Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley kiddo when giving her all of this corporate-based advice at the beginning and calling her kiddo, and he's just so hateable. Oh my God. It's such a well-drawn character in that regard. The evolution of Burke as a villain in that movie is amazing, because he's just his very first introduction in the scene, which turns out to be a nightmare, but we assume is meant to start as a scene that did really happen, and only the nightmare part, presumably. It's a little bit complicated. The movie doesn't actually hold your hand through what the answer to that is. But, his very first interaction with her is basically coming to get her version of the story and realizing, oh, shoot, nobody else has told you how long you were in hypersleep? Well, and he's just immediately uncomfortable, like, this shouldn't be my job. Like, she's probably going to overreact, and it's the whole thing. And I mean, he's being nice, but he's being nice in a sort of self-preserving way. And then, of course, just all of the stuff that he does later, how that all develops, just the increasing, sliminess of that character is pretty amazing. And then, of course, we have Ripley herself, who's just, boy, obviously she's great in Alien, but when we think of Ripley as this iconic badass, it's definitely Aliens that we are thinking of, because she's cool in the first movie for sure, but Aliens is the bit where she's strapping the flamethrower to the machine gun, getting the whole harness on, and going down into, back into the hive to rescue Newt from the alien queen. And then, of course, the power loader seems like all of that stuff is what we're thinking of. And it's just amazing. And it's one of those things where it is a good thing that in recent years, a lot of media is starting to, the female heroine, like the protagonist being a woman in a meaningful way. The whole trope of the strong female protagonist is something that has continued to evolve in our culture, because there's an element to which it's one thing to say, a woman character doesn't have to just be a girly girl, but then it sort of becomes she doesn't have to be a girly girl, but then she has to be just one of the guys. And then, of course, you start saying, okay, well, a woman can be kind of messed up, but she's probably messed up because she had some sort of horrible trauma. And then, of course, you start having the whole concept of the strong female protagonist TM branded for guys who think that's hot and that sort of thing. And there's a lot of this that happens in our culture. But one of the things that has always struck me when people talk about that is that there was, for a long time, I remember online, people saying, well, there's, why are people so happy about all these new female protagonists? Because there's been awesome women heroes for a long time, like Ripley. And everyone's like, yeah, like that was in 1986. Or for Aliens, anyway. And so, without wanting to put all the weight on one character, Ripley can take it. She's a pretty incredible character, and she's just so iconic in this one. And there's just lots of great stuff in Aliens. But anyway, this is not the Aliens show. It's just 5 more minutes. So I've got to go ahead and get ready for work, and I will talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.